volume. Turns out that if you have 3 pyramids, now picture that they're empty. 3 pyramids that you filled with, I don't know, let's say ice cream, and you dump them into the prism, 3 pyramids are going to make up the prism. So what if you knew a prism but you were trying to get a pyramid? Divide by 3, which we could also say a third. So if a prism was area of the base times the height, then if you put a third in front of it, that will give us the pyramid or the cone, which is kind of cool. The same formula works for both. But what is the base of the cone? It's going to have radius in it. Times 3.14. So the base of the cone is a circle. So Pete is telling us we need to use radius and pi. Bryn, write this down. No, you didn't, because I just wrote something else. So capital B changes to pi r squared if it's a cone shape. Oh my gosh, you two. Why don't you just save it for lunch? Pyramid. What's the base of a pyramid? What's the shape?
Square.
Square. So whatever your sides of your square are, I'm just using S for sides, you would multiply those two together for capital B. So you have to be careful of what your shape is and what capital B is going to be. Also remember from Friday we were using slant height, like if the Lego person climbed up the steps of the Mayan ruins. Slant height is the outside for surface area. For volume, slant height isn't a thing because we want the inside. So it's more like our little Lego guy takes an elevator straight to the vertex. That is our height. So the height goes straight through the middle like an elevator to the top. Are you with me so far? Anybody remember the decimal for 1/3? 0.33333333333. So I wouldn't recommend changing it to a decimal. It's super, super messy. Instead, use that B over C button and actually type in 1/3 for 1/3. Do you remember the button? Okay, so if we look at box number 1, I have a cone, and for a cone, capital B turns into pi r squared. Sounds like area to me. The height through the middle to the top, 10. And then you put a third in front. Lots of people, and by lots I mean probably half of first hour, which is my biggest class, so 13 people, were typing wrong the first time. And that's not bad, but then they never checked again. They just said, yep, that's my answer. So really think about maybe typing twice Are you getting the same answer both times? Anyone need help typing? Drake, you feeling brave?
I think I have the wrong answer. So 31.4. I don't know. You did it wrong.
It's okay. Just try again. I do like to take little shortcuts, like 3 squared, 9 times 10.
I didn't square the
That'll do it. So if I do a little bit of mental math, then I have a lot less to type in. Savannah, what do you think?
94.2.
Leighton, were you going to say that? Feet cubed. We're back to volume cubed. Anybody need help getting their calculator to say 94.2? Second box. The shape of this base is a square where I will find the area how, Bryn?
1 side times 0.
Preston?
5 times radius squared.
If it was a cone, Mason?
Oh,
Fine forever.
Godiva? It's a square. Godiva's finding the area. 6 times 6 is 36. The height through the middle to the top, 10. Put your third out in front. Pete, you feeling brave? Nice work. Who needs help getting their calculator to say 120? Box 3, square pyramid, side of 5. So how do I find the area of that square? Addison? 5 times 5 is height to the vertex, 20. Put a third in front.
The answer has a fraction in it.
That's okay.
Should I write that as a decimal?
Doesn't matter. Maddie, you feeling brave?
166 and 2/3.
That means it was not a perfect amount of cubes. That means it was not a perfect amount of cubes. That's okay. There was 2/3 of a cube. Anybody get the decimal for that? Pete?
Oh wait, can you word the 3?
Yeah.
I didn't get. I wrote that fraction.
Oh, that's fine. Anybody get the decimal for it? Drake?
I think it's 0.66 repeated.
It sure is.
Gosh,
What if Leighton wrote 2/3 and I wrote repeating 6?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Leighton and I are both correct. Allison?
I have a question. On the calculator, how do you get a fraction?
To a decimal?
Yeah.
Just 2 divided by 3.
Because a fraction is technically division.
Sure is. Box 4. A cone. What's capital B going to be for a cone, Bryn? What's capital B going to be for a cone? What about it?
Oh, I gotta find it.
Uh-huh. What? How?
Pi times
Yeah.
radius.
Pi times radius squared.
So 3.14 times 2 squared. Height to the vertex. 5. Add your third on top. You don't have to type this whole thing in. What's 2 squared?
4.
4 times 5.
41.
20. Type 20 instead. Make it a little easier. Less room for mistakes then. Addison.
20.93 and
Did I write it right?
How are you guys getting this? I tried 2 times and both times I didn't get that.
That is honestly why I try to do some mental math ahead of time. 2 squared 4 times 5, 20. I don't need the calculator for that. It does help me for 20 times 3.14 times a third. The calculator totally helps me. Are we okay with cone and pyramid? Remember our friend Archimedes? Spheres and circles, specifically his job, study spheres and circles.
Did it pay?
Yes, but payment was different then. Like the baker might pay him with a loaf of bread and the blacksmith might pay him with a horseshoe fix. Payment's different then. So, all of this circle studying he found out, 4/3 times pi times radius to the third. Are you writing?
How did you figure this out? 1 and 1/3.
He did find it was 1 and 1/3, but he realized you would have to change it to an improper fraction anyway. So let's just go straight to the 4/3.
Well, how did you figure this whole thing out?
Lots and lots of studying. So he has one circle, blows it up, fills it with probably sand at that point. What's the volume? Has another circle. If I could flatten this cup. Blows it up. What's the volume? Over and over and over again, he sees this pattern that happens. When he finds the pattern, he writes the rule. Similar to what you were saying before, Einstein and his...
E equals mc squared.
When he's studying energy over and over and over and over and over again, he notices the pattern, makes the formula based on the pattern. So you have to be dedicated to the studying and science.
So we could technically make a formula for something if we studied something else.
You totally could.
That's cool.
So, snowman, oh, he's so cute. Please don't use 3. 3 is the diameter, and nowhere did Archimedes put a D in his formula. He did put an R, which would be 1.5. Who needs help typing?
we just write 1.5 3 times.
Okay, so you can do 1.5 times 1.5 times 1.5, or you could use that little caret button. Either one's gonna work. So Pete says he's gonna multiply 1.5 times itself 3 times. Or remember, above the fraction button has that caret. That's an exponent.
Wanna know if people got the same answers?
Addison, you feeling brave?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I got 785.
785.
785. Would it be cute?
Even? Whoa. I was not expecting that. Maddie?
I got something else. Yes.
Well, let's just try again.
What did everyone else get?
You know what's better than typing it one time? 2 times.
Okay. Yeah, I got the same thing again. I know, but how many times?
How about 14.3?
Yeah, that's 1, 3. 14.4.
Oh, yeah, 1.
There's like air coming from somewhere. It's cold. I know. So cold. Isn't it just 3? Or is it coming from?
I got 1.3. I misspoke.
Air on. Oh, I put in 15, not 1.
That'll happen.
Oh.
It's okay.
Okay, these formulas are getting easier and easier with like I never thought in 7th grade would be this easy.
Turns out you're learning things, Isabel.
You just put some numbers into a calculator and then you got your answer. Not way too hard.
Preston, you got the bottom middle?
I did.
What'd you get?
14,130 meters cubed.
Where's the D in Archimedes' formula?
There isn't one.
Nowhere. Do not use 7.
It's
Well, here's your other option. Multiply it by hand.
I don't know.
Savannah, what'd you get?
Oh, I got 179.503. Repeating.
Repeating?
Stop.
Which part repeats? Okay, so just make sure your line's above just the 3.
No, I wasn't sure what correction. I'm just like repeating.
If you were
Okay.
about that.